Stage rage is where we talk about ourselves and we talk about problems we might have and we talk about our experiences, so that way we're able to deal with them for ourselves. And what we do is we create scenes about the things we talk about, and it has two purposes. One is a therapeutic purpose where it helps you yourself to confront those feelings head on and do a scene like that. And the other is to help other people, because eventually we'll put those scenes into an entire play, and that play is taken around to different schools, and we tell the students at that school our experiences and how we felt about those things, and with the hope that they'll go seek help if they feel the same way that we described and that we did.
So stage rage. So the background on stage rage was that Ms. Flynn had worked extensively with the Arts Horizon Foundation, and there was actually a foundation within that, the CARE Foundation. And what happened, they reached out to her. And they said, we have this money, we need to spend it. Do you have a counseling department? She was like, oh yes.
We decided that spring phase would be the best time to do it because we could be guaranteed of having a set number of kids that would be working on the project the whole time. And so that's how it came about. So they lost the grant the following year, but we all felt that the first project of Stage Rage had gone so well, and we had toured it to middle schools, and we thought it was also serving as a community service.
What happened was we didn't know. I think that's some of the background with it, is that we did not know what this would become, what it was going to be. And it actually only stated that we had to do one show as part of the grant originally, but due to Ms. Flynn's strengths, we began touring to a number of different middle schools early on, and we've stuck with them in the last 4 years over the process with that. So where we begin, we do group therapy every morning, especially during the first 2.5 to 3 weeks of this. That's we come into the office where we're sitting right now, and we do group therapy. Additionally, there's some different visual art components that are brought into the therapy early on, and we talk about a lot of different things, among them identity and what we show people, the mask, if you will, of what we show people to the outside and versus what we keep in. We do a lot of family systems type of work and talk a lot about different family approaches and things like that, because that's such a big part of people's backgrounds and life and culture and identity.
After the group therapy, we come over to the stage, and the first week and a half or so, I'm doing theater exercises. And they're designed to build the skills of the kids, because most of the kids have not worked in the Drama Guild. They just are in Stage Rage. They're trust-building exercises. They get the kids using their bodies and voices to skillfully communicate their ideas. And then as the therapy side progresses, we start moving into the issues, using the issues as the basis of some of the work that we create in the exercises. Then, at some point when we decide everybody's ready, the therapy and the theater become united.
As we move over to the theater, eventually the acting exercises that Ms. Flynn does, that goes into, it does bleed into the therapy, because eventually we're asking people to develop what are called tableaus. So it's like taking a still shot of somebody while they're in a pose, and we ask them to lay that out, and that's therapeutic in the sense of going through a situation, going back to, a painful place in one's life. So when we have, a student that's living at home with, the alcoholic father, what that is for them to relive that, and how reliving the trauma and working through that therapeutically through acting on the stage, how that creates healing for a person.
When the kids in the show speak about problems that the kids recognize as their own, and we do a talk back after the performance, We've heard reports from counselors at schools where we've played that suddenly there are people lining up outside the door of the counselor, suddenly wanting to talk. Kids who may not have been identified by counselors as potential candidates for getting therapy. So I'm hopeful for this year.
The audiences, it's, we ask our guys to speak to their younger selves about substance abuse, absent parents, abandonment, suicide, a lot of different mental health, disorders and things, as well as, we've had a lot of LGBT issues as well too over the years. So for other people to hear that are older than them, oh my gosh, you have the same struggles as me. In a sense, they have people to look up to, but also people to connect with. And it's, we have this therapeutic factor that's called universality, and what that means is that there's a shared experience. So if, I come from a home where people leave and somebody else does and somebody else does, we're shared in that experience. And that helps us connect to one another. A lot of this is about connection. In terms of the guys that participate in it and are the actors in it and are the group members with this, for their treatment, I believe that it can help in ways in terms of better communication at home, better communication with teachers, having to speak, having to understand people in different ways as well too is a big part of that. Playing your father, playing your mother, playing your brother that you have a lot of conflict with and you don't get along with. I believe that really can help people have different viewpoints and lenses into situations.
Honestly, I think one of the hardest things about stage rage is being vulnerable, because letting people come in is a difficult task, and no one wants to be seen as vulnerable, because vulnerable today in America is being seen as soft.
And we challenge our guys to ask what is vulnerability, understand what that means, how we don't know. A lot of being vulnerable is we don't know what the outcome of a situation is going to be. And there's a lot of research that has been done on vulnerability. And specifically for this, that's where this is, kind of magnified at a level where, one, you're going to go through a healing process in an intimate space, but then you're going to eventually take scenes and develop that into a full production that you're going to perform. And while the details of it a lot of times are changed, however, the essence, the root, the truth, the authenticity of what somebody's felt and experienced, that's what we have to put up on the stage. And that is is the definition of being vulnerable for somebody. And I believe that that's really ultimately what stage rage is.